I do most of my sharpening on Japanese waterstones. I've got a 1200 grit stone here. Occasionally I have to flatten the stones because the way a waterstone works is your blade actually creates a slurry of the soft stone material, and that's what does the cutting. And because it's such a soft stone, it tends to get a little bit dished. So every once in a while I'll flatten them, and I'm going to show you how I do that. There may be other ways, but this is just what I do. You can see this stone's been flattened a number of times. It's actually thicker at one end than it is at the other. The first stone I'm going to use, and this is totally optional, is an actual flattening stone, just to get me in the right ballpark. And I'm just going to wet this thing pretty good. I normally store my stones in water, so they're fairly wet, but this is going to tell me how bad I really am right now. Now I'm not shooting for the flatness that you'd need for a machine tool setup, you know, if you're making gears and things, because we are working with wood, and actually when you're doing a plane iron, for example, you do want it to be a little bit of a smile in it, just to keep the edges from digging in. But this thing's way out of flat. We've got a lot of extra material. It's cutting here and here, so it's not even getting down to the inside yet. Starting to get there. You can see it's lighter up here and here, but it's still dark in here. And once in a while I'll just dip this in water and get rid of the material. I'm getting close, and this is just a rough work. I'm going to do the fine work on a piece of glass. You'll see that in a minute. And if you're on a budget, you don't want to have one of these rough stones. The glass works fine. It just takes longer. Still have a dark area in here, so I can tell it's not getting all the way through yet. I'm also using this to kind of put a little more pressure on the fat end, so I can try to make this thing a little more level when I'm using it. Now, we're just about there. There's just a little bit of a flat area, a low area there in the middle. I think that did it. I'm going to do the same thing to the other side and hit these other stones. Hey, I've done a first go around on the fronts and backs of all my stones, and now I'm going to check to see if I got most of it. So I'm going to take a pencil, just make a little grid on the stone. Pencil gets down deep into the stone so it doesn't wash off easy, and then just do a few flicks. That pretty much got it. Let's check the other side. I'm going to wet this glass and then put some carborundum powder on it. Just, I'm not sure what grit this is, to tell you the truth. It's been too long since I've purchased it. So I'm going to start out with my 1200 grit stones, and I'm going to try to leave the residue on there, so as I work down to the next stone, that will help a little bit with the cutting. And I won't have to wipe, clean the plate off too much. And all you're doing is taking advantage of the fact that glass is flat. And you can see that my slurry is turning brown now. I'll do the same thing with the pencil line. And I've still got a little hollowing here. You don't need much of this carborundum powder. That little bit in that can comes from a bag that I bought 1980, I think. Just a little smidgen. That's looking pretty good. Let's do another check with the pencil. Looks like I got it. It's nice and flat. So that's it. The stone surface will be a little bit rough for your first couple of sharpenings, but if you try to, use the whole stone as much as you can, you'll minimize the number of times you have to do this, because this really takes away the material, and you can see that stone's worn down quite a bit. This method works for me, so hopefully maybe it'll work for you if you decide to try that. Thanks for watching.